Good afternoon. This is the July 1st meeting of the Topeka Development Corporation Board of Directors. I'll call the meeting to order. If you will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance as you are able. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Okay, Board President Padilla.
Here.
Vice President Dobler.
Here.
Directors Hiller.
Here.
Ortiz.
Here.
Out of order. Valdivia Acala.
Here.
Banks.
Here.
Kell. Is he online? No. Miller.
Here.
Duncan.
Here.
Dobler. Right. And Hofer. All right, we have eight present with council members Kell and Hofer absent.
Okay, thank you. Move on to agenda item 4. Madam Clerk?
All right, the first item is approval of the June 2, 2025 meeting minutes.
Move approval.
Okay, motion approved by Director Dobler. Second by Director Banks. We'll take our roll call.
You want to? Okay. President Padilla.
Yes.
Vice President Dobler.
Yes.
Director Hiller.
Yes.
Valdivia Acala.
Yes.
Ortiz. Shamline.
Yes.
Banks.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
And Duncan.
Yes.
All right, we have 8 yes, the motion carries.
Okay, we move on to agenda item number 5. Sir.
In interest of time and the things we have to discuss, I would move that, or suggest that we move into executive session immediately.
I discussed this just a bit before we got started. I agree that we have a lot to discuss. I don't want to, we have one person signed up for public comment. If we could have the public comment, and then we'll move into executive session.
That'd be great.
Okay. But we still have the approval, though, for agenda item 5. So, Madam Clerk, if you'll read that.
Five is approval of a funding request in the amount of $34,216.74 for repair of the York chiller at Hotel Topeka, contingent upon governing body approval of the transfer of the funds to the Topeka Development Corporation.
Okay, we've heard this agenda item. Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Motion to approve by Director Dobler. I'll second that motion. Let's take a roll call vote, please.
All right. President Padilla.
Yes.
Vice President Dobler.
Yes.
Directors Hiller.
Yes.
Valdivia Acala.
No.
Ortiz.
Yes.
Banks.
No.
Miller.
No.
Duncan.
Yes.
All right, so we have 5 yes, the motion carries with Directors Valdivia Acala, Banks, and Miller voting no.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Director Ortiz?
I'm sorry, I need to switch my vote to no. I apologize.
Yeah, so the motion fails because we have 4-4 with Ortiz voting no.
Okay.
Just to clarify, this was to ensure that people staying at the hotel had air conditioning, correct?
Yes, we have 2 air conditioning units in Hotel Topeka. We have the train unit, which was completely reconstructed last year, and that's the one that we are relying on. We then have the 30-plus-year-old York conditioning unit or chiller that we had been relying on because that was the only thing that we had. So we there are leaks, cracks in the barrel of that. And so this resolution is simply asking for sufficient funding to do the minor repairs to weld the cracks in the barrel and charge the thing up with Freon, because if the train were to go down or if we needed to take it down, currently we wouldn't have a reliable backup unit. As the way staff crafted this, knowing that we are limited in our funds, we basically have, this resolution would rescind the earlier resolution 9549 that approved $125,000 of site improvements, civil site improvements. The net result of this would be, if it passed for the 34,000, it would allow 91,000 to be put back into the unassigned reserves. So that's the purpose of this item, is to make sure that we have a backup functioning air conditioner if we need to take the train down, or if we get one of those 100% humidity days and one chiller cannot adequately chill or cool the hotel.
Thank you for that clarification and detail. Director Alcala.
Thank you. Just for clarification, I mean, I'm sure people need air conditioning, but I'm staying consistent on my votes as I have, which will always be no for any spending or any additional expenditures for the hotel. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. I have Director Duncan and then Director Miller. Okay, okay. Director Miller?
Thank you. I appreciate that explanation by Assistant City Manager Copley, and I believe that I can change my vote to yes, knowing now what the expense is for. I was saying no to the expense because I knew we had just put that money into that other chiller, but understanding now what the expense is for in detail, that allows me to be able to say yes to this. So I would like to change my vote from a no to a yes, please.
Mr. Mayor, as a point of clarification, since the motion has been called, I believe someone on the prevailing side, like Director Miller, would need to make a motion to reconsider since he voted on the prevailing side. If he did that, then you would revote.
We had a change of vote.
Director Miller, did you hear?
I would like to make that motion, yes, to reconsider.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Director Miller, second by Director Hiller. If we'll call the vote, please.
All right, President Padilla,
Yes?
Vice President Dobler,
Yes.
Directors Hiller,
Yes.
Valdivia Acala,
No.
Ortiz,
No.
Banks,
No.
Miller,
Yes.
Duncan,
Yes.
and Hofer.
Yes.
All right, we have 6 yes, the motion to reconsider passes.
Thank you. Okay. Now, as suggested by Director Dobler, we'll have one person signed up for public comment, and then after that public comment, we'll recess into executive session.
We need to revote, right?
Pardon? We voted? Didn't we?
We got the motion to reconsider passed, so now we have the motion
Okay.
on the table for the
All right,
approval.
thank you. Thank you for the procedure. Okay,
So do we have it?
So-
Whoever made the motion first.
we've,
Okay.
okay,
So the original motion, what was by Dobler and Mayor Padilla. So Dobler made the motion, Mayor Padilla seconded, so we'll go with that motion for approval of the request.
okay.
All right. So Director Padilla,
Yes?
Vice President Dobler.
Yes.
All right, Director Hiller,
Yes.
Valdivia Acala,
No.
Ortiz,
No.
Banks,
No.
Miller,
Yes.
Duncan,
Yes.
and Hofer.
Yes.
All right, we have 6 yes, the motion carries with Directors Valdivia Acala, Ortiz, and Banks voting no.
Thank you.
Now we can go into public comment.
Okay, now we'll move to public comment. One person is Henry McClure.
Thank you, Your Honor, for making public comment go into before executive session, because it's a perfect opportunity to make the point that I wanted to make tonight. is that there's no reason, zero reason, that all this can't be done in the light of day. In fact, this probably should be on a stage over at the hotel, because there's nothing sensitive about it. Technically, the taxpayers are the hotel owners. And if any one of you would have ever run on the fact that, hey, I'm going to go out and buy a hotel, you never would have got voted in. And I can't wait to see, I think what has happened is the hotel purchase has really proved a point that I've been trying to make here for years. But this is the tip of the iceberg. You know, a very smug person told me the other day, Henry, this isn't all about you. Well, absolutely it is to me. It's how I make a living. I make a living in the real estate business, out in the market, out in the free market. But you guys try to control the market. You want to pick the winners. You let some guys not pay real estate taxes over here. You give another guy all the economic development money. This system is rigged. It's a setup. It's a failure. You should be holding these meetings. There's no need for an executive session. There isn't anything that we can't know. But I will tell you that the offer that we brought forward, that we were so smugly treated by your $554,000 consultant, we're going back and we're talking to that guy and we're going to see if we can revise his offer. But why would you come to Topeka? Just think about how Whataburger and Chick-fil-A have been treated. What about what we don't know? If you don't think these national tenants talk to each, hey, what do you think about Topeka? What's the draw? Let's take an example right now of the people that work for the Greater Topeka Partnership. They're leaving in droves. Why would you want to move to Topeka? There's no reason. There's not one. It's almost the whole state of Kansas. But you guys, I just want to say shame on you. We should be doing all this in the light of day, in the public. Everybody should be able to see what's going on in sunshine and bleach. I appreciate the opportunity. Off to executive session. Thank you.
Okay. All right, as suggested previously, we will move into executive session at the pleasure of the board.
Do you need to read a motion?
Yes.
The motion would be to recess into executive session not to exceed 40 minutes to discuss data related to financial affairs or trade secrets of one or more corporations as allowed under 754319B4. The open meeting will resume in the City Council chambers. The following individuals will be necessary to assist the board in its deliberations: City Manager Perez, Assistant City Manager Copley, and other individuals the board finds useful.
Okay, you've heard the motion for an executive session. Moved by Director Dobler, second by Director Duncan. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Director Ortiz. Okay, we'll immediately recess into executive session. Okay, we have concluded our discussions in executive session for the Topeka Development Corporation. No action has been taken. No further business coming before that board. That meeting is adjourned.